today we're going to talk about the kipping handstand push-ups. Woohoo! I know a lot of you guys wanted to see this video. We did do a strict handstand push-up video. Make sure you check that out, because that has all of the prerequisites that you should have, the strength that you should have before ever attempting these kipping handstand push-ups. Once we have the strength from the strict handstand push-ups, now we'll just start to work on the technique and you'll have kipping handstand push-ups no problem. We want to make sure that we've accomplished, at least 3 strict handstand push-ups to make sure that we're not putting the unnecessary strain onto our neck, but we have the strength in our shoulders, in our arms to stabilize and support us in the handstand push-up. So let's talk about the kipping handstand push-up. The first thing we're going to talk about today is the tripod and what the bottom of the kipping handstand push-up should look like. I've got Patrick here. He's our awesome demo guy. So he's going to show you guys what that should look like. And what I want you to think about is he's actively pushing the floor away from him, engaging his lats, engaging his shoulders to support himself. He's just using his head for balance. He's not using it as something to stabilize or what's the word I'm looking for? Or to support his weight. Okay, so what we're gonna do is he's gonna come down. His hands are gonna go out. Notice, before you even kick up, when we go into this position, his head, his hands, we're creating that nice triangle we talked about in the strict handstand push-up video. From here, he's gonna activate his lats by pushing through the ground, and he's gonna go ahead and kick onto his head. First thing, we can bring our knees onto our elbows. He's holding nice and tight. We should be able to hold this for 30 to 60 seconds. Once we get good at this, he can lift his knees to where now he's engaging his midline and he's activating his lats even harder. Go ahead and kick down. We want to make sure that we can maintain that tripod position where we feel like we're supporting ourselves with our shoulders and our lats and our midline, not with our head. I would recommend building this in before or after your workouts, accumulating time under tension. So hold for 15 seconds, rest for 15 seconds. Do that for 4 sets. If that gets easy, go into 4 rounds of hold for 20 seconds, rest for 10 seconds until we can accumulate 30 to 60 seconds in this tripod position, feeling like we're not just putting pressure and crushing our neck, but we're supporting ourselves with our shoulder strength. So now we're gonna take our handstand onto the wall and we're gonna reestablish that tripod in the bottom position. So Patrick's gonna go ahead and kick up. His hands are 6 to 12 inches. He's gonna establish this perfect handstand. We went over this in the strict handstand push-up. Notice he's driving his heels to the ceiling because this is gonna be our finished position in a workout. From here, he's gonna lower down, slow and controlled, establishing that triangle or that tripod. Next, his butt is gonna go back towards the wall, allowing his knees to come down. Look, this is that exact position we just went over. He's supporting himself with his lats, with his shoulders. From here, he's gonna go ahead and kick down. So that version was a little bit of an exaggerated hold just to show you guys. So I want you to see in real speed what it's like when Patrick descends. He's just controlled. So what we want to make sure is we're just not dropping down hard onto our head to where we don't have any control with our shoulders. So he's going to show you lowering down controlled to where his butt hits the wall, and then he'll kick off at real speed. So kicking up, lowering down nice and controlled, butt comes back, and go ahead and kick off. So you could see that was just a little bit faster, but what he did not do was bottom out or drop down onto his head. He was able to hold that tension in his lats, in his shoulders, all the way down to establish that tight position in the bottom of the handstand push-up. So I guess now that we're upside down and we're comfortable in the bottom position, what we need to work on is getting out of the position. I think the number one thing we see is people think of it as a handstand push-up. So they're trying to press with their arms before their hips have ever reached extension. So we're gonna use an air squat as an example. So if Patrick does an air squat and he doesn't ever let his hips reach extension, go. He doesn't really get that open piece and he doesn't get much air off of the ground. Now if we do it again and he focuses on opening his hips, he gets all of the power out of his hips, which is what we also want to do in a handstand push-up. We want to drive our heels up towards the ceiling, focusing on opening our hips aggressively. As we become weightless, that's when we finish the handstand push-up with our arms. So I think switching the focus, it is a shoulder movement. It's gonna be mainly it's going to come down mainly to the strength in our shoulders, but we can take some of that pressure off by focusing on opening our hips and getting the full extension first in order to finish the rep. The other analogy I would use is a push press, right? So I want to think about the bar on my shoulders. I'm driving hard, getting extension in my hips. As the bar becomes weightless, I can start to put my head through. Very similar to a handstand push-up. So I'm going to have Patrick demonstrate that for us. He's going to come down, Slow and controlled, butt comes back and opens. Notice as the first thing happening, his hips are opening and then he's thinking about pushing the ground away from him. Go again. One more. He always reestablishes this perfect handstand push-in at the top every single time. Go ahead and kick down. A couple common flaws that we tend to see in the handstand push-up are I'm gonna have Patrick demo it for us. So he's gonna kick up. When he lowers down, what we see is people lower down and they bring their knees forward, but they leave their feet back against the wall. He has no way to open his hip from this position. So to correct this, what we wanna do, bring our feet off so we're in this upside down squat. Feet are almost facing the ceiling. So now he can get the full hip extension by opening his hip. Go ahead. Good, one more time. Feet come off and open. At the top, we want to make sure our heels stay together so we're tight from our core all the way to our extremity. What we don't want to do is let our feet start to come wide because we're going to not be able to hold that nice tight handstand push-up, and we're going to be dispersing our energy toward opposite corners of the room and instead of staying tight and efficient. Go ahead and kick down. If you're doing handstand push-ups in a workout and you start to feel like you're getting tired and you're trying to reestablish your position, I think the best place for you to reestablish it is at the top. Get set, take a breath, make sure everything's tight. Try not to reestablish it when you're loading your head, because then we're placing unnecessary load onto our spine when we're fatigued and we're under tension. So we're fatigued, we're on our head, and we're under tension longer than we need to be. So I would definitely reestablish at the top, or if you're in a workout and you're tired, don't fight for that extra 1 or 2 reps, especially when it comes to our neck. Just go ahead, kick off the wall, take a breath, regather yourself, and then go ahead and kick right back up. One drill that can be really great for you to get the hang of the hip extension and using your hips to create all of the power, finishing with your arms, is actually gonna be a dumbbell push press. So Patrick's gonna dip and drive, thinking about just trying to let the dumbbells float off of his shoulders. Good. Let's do one more. Dip and drive. Good. This time, he's gonna continue generating all of the power with his hips, trying to transfer, and then he's just gonna finish the lockout as the dumbbells become weightless. Ready? Good. One more. Good. So I think this is a really great way to transfer over to the wall, just getting the hang of changing our focus into that we should be trying to make ourselves feel as weightless as possible, get as much power from our hips, and then finishing the rep by pressing through the ground. A couple tips if you're in a workout and you start to notice you're falling off the wall, I would definitely start with squeezing your quads and your butt. As we start to get tired, we start to get lazy, we forget to stay tight. Make sure you're staying as tight as possible. So tight midline, squeeze your quads, squeeze your butt, actively press through the ground. The next piece I also think is for the handstand push-ups. I think it's really important. Say we're doing 21 reps, we get to 15 and we're really starting to struggle, but you know you could squeak out maybe 1 or 2 more. Are those 1 or 2 gonna be worth it? You're not gonna get to 21. Instead, what I would do, kick off the wall, take a quick breath, give your shoulders a break from being under tension, kick back up. I think in the handstand push-up, sometimes we tend to try to squeak out those 1 or 2 reps, and that actually puts us right over our red line. So then from there, we're almost down to singles for the rest of the set. Make sure you're not getting to red line. They should almost always feel easy, almost always feel crisp, especially if we're advanced and we're used to stringing these handstand push-ups together. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We love sharing these tips with you. We love helping you improve whatever skill it is. Please comment below, like the video, let us know what you want to see next or what we can break down for you. If you get more handstand push-ups, also let me know. Tag me on Instagram, whatever it is. I would love to see your videos. I'd love to see your progress, and have a great day.